Now, I've heard some pretty remarkable stories from people using red light therapy devices, but this before and after is probably one of the best I've seen in recent times. You see, this woman had some skin issues, and after just 1 month of using 2 red light therapy products, she saw some amazing changes. Now, this image was posted in our Facebook group, and of course it went off. Everyone wanted to know what she was doing, what products she had, how many times a week was she using it, was she using any other products, all that good stuff. So I thought, you know what, I'll reach out to her so we can find out exactly what she was doing and we can do something similar. So be sure to stick around until the end of the video because I do crunch the numbers and come up with some dosing parameters. And I'll also share my own thoughts and feedback on maybe why she got some amazing results. Okay, so what do we need to know? Well, first up, we're going to refer to this lady as TC. She is 54 years old. She has given me permission to do this video and share her photos. She posted this in our Red Light Therapy Facebook group. I'll put a link to that, the direct post, and of course the group down below. Check it out if you haven't already. She said she has no affiliation or connection with any red light therapy company. She said no filters or makeup has been used in these photos. There's been no touch-ups or anything like that. And the reason why she shared it is because, yeah, she's so happy with the results. Now, I asked her if she's using any skincare products. She said she doesn't use any serums, but for the past 2 years, she's been using the Neutrogena Revitalizing Cream morning and night. Now, a month ago, she got 2 red light therapy products and she started using them about 5 times a day. And as you can see, the results are really amazing. So first up, from a skin benefit point of view, it's quite clear. Those darker spots have literally disappeared in some cases. You can see a little bit of dryness, but I'll talk about that later. Her complexion looks a lot better. The redness is also decreased. I mean, you could even argue that the fine lines have disappeared a little bit as well. I mean, it is quite a remarkable before and after. So much so that I mean, when I first saw it, I thought, okay, like, there's a filter or makeup going on here. So that's why I reached out to see what was going on. Of course, I'll never truly know, but I mean, TC has no real reason to share this photo other than she's so happy with her results. And so I asked for some feedback, and this is what she said. She said, look, it was a slow process, though I need to add, remember, this all happened in a month, so it's not that slow. And TC commented, I did notice that my dark spots would get dry and even look darker immediately after using the red light. Now, that's interesting because people have commented that before. I noticed that even sometimes I think my freckles are a little bit larger after using a red light therapy device. But then TC said, the next morning, they all look lighter. She said, around the time I started using red light therapy, I actually had a lip filler. And when I went back for my checkup, my dermatologist said, hey, wow, your pores are looking great and a lot smaller. She noted that she'd lent one of her devices to a friend, and in the last week and a half hasn't been using it, but hasn't noticed any change in coloring in the spots since she stopped using it. She also said, my skin feels smoother and tighter. I also have a lot more energy and muscles don't seem to be as cramped up. Now, I'm not too sure what she means by muscles don't seem to be as cramped up. I can relate to the more energy. A lot of people can. It's part of the reason people love using it. I notice I feel better recovery-wise when regularly using red light therapy. But of course, the main focus here is her skin. So what are the products she's using? Well, there's 2. First up, there is a Platinum LED Biomax 900. Now, this is a large red light therapy panel, 300 LEDs. In fact, it's regarded as the best red light therapy panel in the market. I did a comparison video earlier in the year on 17 panels. I tested them all. And yet the Biomax 900 came out in first place. I'll put a link to that video down below. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, hit the like button and be sure to subscribe because I do a lot of reviews, comparisons, scientific analysis videos, all sorts of good stuff. I've also got a website, Light Therapy Insiders. There's some really good articles over there. And of course, the Facebook group I mentioned earlier. Now, the Biomax 900 it's a great panel for, yes, facial treatment, but also body treatment because of its size. You can actually get smaller Biomax panels. For instance, the Biomax 300 that comes with a tabletop stand, has all the same features as the 900. So if you're on a bit of a budget or don't want a large panel and just want something smaller for the face, you could check out the Biomax 300. I've reviewed both of these. Links are all down below. I should also mention the Biomax 900 has 7 wavelengths. So we'll unpack this a little bit later in the video. It does have blue light, it's got a bunch of red light LEDs, and then also near infrared LEDs. Now, TC told me she wasn't using the blue light in this panel, which I found quite interesting because it's well known in the beauty space for its benefits. But yeah, she wasn't using it. And the second device she was using was the Kineon Move Plus Pro. This is typically used for joint pain, but if you've seen my reviews over the years, you'll know that I really like this as a spot treatment device and also as a travel device. And TC was using this on those spots. Now this device is putting out 808 near infrared light and 660 or 650 nanometer red light. It's also pulsed light, and of course it is a much smaller, less intense light. So it was interesting that she used the two in combination. So what was her exact protocol? Well, I asked her and this is what she said. She said, in the morning, I'm using the Biomax 900 for about 3 to 5 minutes per day. I do this with a clean face, 12 inches from the panel, and I turn off the blue lights and set the intensity of the red and the near infrared to 75%. Then in the evening, I spot treat the dark spots on my face with the Kineon Move Plus Pro. I hit each area for less than a minute each. I do all of this about 5 times a week, and I've been doing it for about a month. So it's actually quite a simple protocol. I have no idea how she's come up with these numbers, 12 inches, 75%, turning off the blue, morning and the night. Like, it's quite a unique protocol, but as you can see, it's working. So now that we know that, let's have a look at the numbers and see exactly what she is emitting onto her face. So as she mentioned, she turns off the blue. Now the Biomax panels do have some blue LEDs in it, but there's a switch in there where you can disable them if you like. So she's not using the blue, even though that is a unique selling feature of the Biomax panels. She's running the red and near infrared LEDs at 75% intensity. That means she's getting 630 and 660 nanometer red light, 810, 830, and 850, and also 1060 nanometer near infrared light. Now, at the time of filming, there's no other panel that has this many wavelengths in this combination in a panel, especially the 1060. There's a lot of other panels out there, like the Block Blue Light Mega, the Radiotherapy panel, even the Mito Red Light panel, who have a lot of these other combinations around the red and the near infrareds, but none of them have the blue and the 1060. Of course, the blue is irrelevant here. Maybe the 1060 is helping, though if you look at our articles and videos on what the science says around skin and beauty benefits, you'll notice that most of the research is in that red light range and a little bit is in the near infrared range. So my point being, I don't think these results are unique to the Biomax. I think other panels could do a similar job. Now, as for the intensity, the Biomax 900 is actually the most powerful panel I've tested. At 6 inches, it has an average irradiance of 90 milliwatts over centimeter squared. However, TC was using it 12 inches from the panel. And we know from a previous video that at 12 inches, you're only getting about 80% of the energy compared to the 6 inches reading. So 80% of 90 is 72 milliwatts over centimeter squared, but she's dropping it down to 75%. So in theory, that means she's getting about 50 milliwatts over centimeter squared of light at the 12-inch mark with those settings. Now, she said she's using the panel for about 3 to 5 minutes a day. So if you do some rough calculations, this comes out to be a dosage amount between 10 and 16 joules over centimeter squared. Again, when we look at the research on skin rejuvenation and red light therapy, we know that the red light in between, say, 620 and 670 is the best, and the Biomax 900 has red light in this range. We know that research has shown benefits from intensities from 10 milliwatts up to 50 milliwatts, and with the 12 inches and the 75% power, we're at about 50 milliwatts, so it's definitely at the higher end of that range. But again, there was still research to support it works. And of course, there's real world evidence it works right here as well. And then finally, the research says that dose in between 3 and 15 joules over centimeter squares seem to be the best. And TC's dosing amount ranges from 10 to 16. So again, at the higher end of that range, but still within the range. So on paper, it makes sense that she's getting good results. The research supports it. But that's just looking at the Biomax. Of course, in the evening, she's been using that Kineon to spot treat. Now, it's a bit tricky to measure this device because it's using lasers and pulsed light, but because she's only using this for less than a minute on each spot, it's not a huge amount of energy. I wouldn't be surprised if she dropped out the Kineon and just used the Biomax and got similar results. But again, if it ain't broke, why fix it, right? I guess though, if you're watching this and wanting to replicate this protocol and you're on a budget, you may not want to spend $1,000 odd on a Biomax panel and then $500 odd on the Kineon. You could just go and get the panel, for instance, and see how that goes. If you do have those dark spots like TC had, then yeah, maybe spend the extra money and get the Kineon as well. So overall, what are my thoughts on this? Well, it's interesting because yeah, the dosing is quite low. The time is very short, and she's standing 12 inches away instead of the 4 to 6 that I personally stand. But her goal, the benefits we're seeing here are surface skin level, right? Personally, I use red light therapy more for sports and muscle recovery and bone health and all of that. So I want better penetration and more energy getting into the body. It does show though, if you're only wanting to treat the skin and you want, beauty benefits, you don't need 10-15 minute sessions, and you don't need to be standing right next to the panel, especially with these modern high powered panels. Of course, in a perfect world, we could replicate this a million times and change the variables and see what would happen, with 10-minute sessions or 100% intensity or with the blue light on. But like I said at the start of this video, this is one of the most amazing before and afters I've seen in a while. And hey, if you want similar results, then I've just mapped out her protocol. So why don't you go off and try it? Now, if you have tried it, please leave a comment and even a photo below. I don't think you can leave a photo below, so you'd have to do that in the Facebook group. If you've noticed similar benefits or maybe no benefits, yeah, I'd love to hear about them. And if you are going to go out and buy one of these panels or the Kineon devices to replicate this experiment, again, report back in a month or two with your findings. Take a before and after. I'd love to hear it. I do have reviews and also discount links for all of those products just mentioned. I am affiliated with them, so that means if you make a purchase through the link or use the code, you will save, but I get a commission. It's a win-win for all, but you don't have to use those products. You could go out and crunch the numbers on different products. I have a really good shopping tool over at Light Therapy Insiders where you can go through and see the intensities of all sorts of panels on the market. So you could actually come up with a similar protocol for your own unique product. You know what? If you have a panel other than the Biomax and you want to know how long to use it to get a similar dosing amount, let me know in the comments below. Let me know the name of the panel, the year you purchased it, and I can try run some numbers to give you a guideline.